I think I told you this a while back. I had a weed eater come in and they needed a new throttle cable. And I ordered a new throttle cable and it took forever to get it. Well, when it came in, it was the wrong throttle cable. They sent me the wrong one. I even went back and verified that I ordered the correct one. So I sent it back and ordered from a different company this time. And they sent me the wrong one also. Well, after some further analysis, I realized maybe they don't make them anymore or whatever. So I found one, OEM one, and it was $50. So I took, before I knew that the second one, before the second one came in, I took the cable off my weed eater throttle and put it on his because they were the same weed eater. Well, now I don't have a weed eater, so I got to wait for a weed eater like mine to come in that, you know, it's blown up. And if they give it to me, then I can take the cable off that and put it on my weed eater. Well, I need a weed eater. So a guy gave me a bunch of old weed eaters. I mean, like from 2002. I mean, they're literally called weed eater. I ran one of these back in 2001. I bought my first one. So Carolyn said, well, see if you can get any of those to start up. So I picked out the nicest looking one and put some starting fluid in it and it popped right off. So I've ordered a carburetor for that. We'll get it on Friday and hopefully we can get that thing running. Then I got a weed eater again. And Carolyn likes this one better because it's smaller and she can handle it. So, well, I guess that's okay. I mean, I like my still weed eater, but this will work. So I've been talking to you about the beast and making it into a tow truck. And you know, I get a lot of flack anytime I build anything. The camper, you remember when I built the camper years ago? Put it on the back of the truck. First time a bird hits that, it's going to go right through it. Well, it was in the Grand Canyon and the bird went right through it, and I'm sorry, a bird hit it and it didn't go right through it. That's going to give the trolls something to talk about. I won't even edit that out. So let's see, we built a house. Of course, this thing's supposed to have fallen down a million times. First snow. That porch roof's going to fall right in. Well, I think it's like on the 10th snow, 100, maybe even the 20th snow. Still hasn't fallen in. I have gotten a tarp over. We had a big hailstone fell and knocked a hole in that. So I think I'll probably put some metal over it this time because it is pretty fragile with, you know, limbs falling down on it. This one didn't seem to have the same problem. Of course, I don't know, the darker color one just seems to, or the colored one seems to be a little bit more sturdy. It did break. Somebody hit it when the guy who brought the camper over, he hit it and it did break it, but I sealed that up pretty easy. So back to the beast. I've made several videos now people telling me that this is just a terrible idea. I mean, it's I just don't even understand how it's a terrible idea. Well, I got a message last night. It says I want you to stop B-word at your subscribers. What you are doing is totally unsafe and you're going to get somebody hurt. I'm not sure who I'm going to get hurt other than myself. I mean, maybe. I mean, if this thing fails, I'll be on the lawnmower, usually by myself. And I don't think that I'm going to get hurt. But if I do, it's on me. I'm not going to get somebody hurt. I mean, I'll get myself hurt, but it was implied in this message that somebody else is going to get hurt on this, and I don't get it. I'm just moving lawnmowers around. I don't know what they think I'm towing. I'm not towing cars. I'm not going 55 miles an hour down the road. I'm not doing 70 miles an hour down the road. I'm towing lawnmowers, and I demonstrated that the other day. And he attaches a video, and he says, this is how you do things properly. Now, I don't know if he was expecting me to build what this guy built, or if he was simply stating that this guy builds things properly and I don't. I'm not sure. I mean, what's so funny is this 2x4 is used in construction of your home. That's what they use, 2x4s. But if you use a 2x4 for anything else, it's all of a sudden the weakest material in the world and you can't use it. Well, I mean, according to these people, you should be using like, 18-inch steel beams. It's just, otherwise your house is never going to stand. I don't quite understand it. So I watched the video, and the first thing he had was a Massey Ferguson lawnmower. And it looked pretty old. If you could buy it, or buy one, anything like it, it would be thousands of dollars to get it. How often are you going to run across an old one like that? And it had a 3-point hitch. Now, 3-point hitch is something you'll see on an actual tractor. And what it is it has 3 bars that come out of the back. And it's hydraulic driven. The 2 bottom bars raise up and down. And the 3rd top bar kind of holds it in place. You can make adjustments with it. So this Massey Ferguson lawnmower, made probably back in the 70s or 80s, had a 3-point hitch. I don't know if it was electronic or electric or what it was, but it was a 3-point hitch. So first of all, that's one thing I don't have. I don't have a 3-point hitch lawnmower. So if he's asking me to duplicate this idea, I'd never be able to, because I'm not going to buy a 3-point hitch lawnmower. And if I luck out and get a Massey Ferguson 3-point hitch lawnmower for nothing, it would still cost a fortune to fix it up when I already have this lawnmower and I like it a lot. It's a garden tractor. It's designed to pull 1,500 pounds, which is great because I'll never pull anything more than 1,500 pounds because it's just going to pull lawnmowers. And I demonstrated how I can now keep the wheels on the front ground, or the front wheels on the ground. Just did that in a video recently, trying to prove to you that it's going to work. That's actually the video he replied to. So what this guy did was he took a never used, it was a year old, but he never used it, jack like this. And he cut this bar. Now I'm not entirely sure why he cut it. I mean, I couldn't get a close look at it because mine has a cotter pin here. I can pop out and just take it out. I don't have to cut it. But he said, I never use this. I bought it last year and never use it. Well, I didn't go and look up the price, but I did last year when I got this. Somebody gave this to me. It was really nice. And I think it was $150. So let's just say $150 to $200. So now you have a Massey Ferguson lawnmower with the 3-point hitch. And I guess if you could buy it new, it would be, $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. That's just a guess. Maybe even up there towards $10,000. I don't know. It's going to be expensive. And then you have a $200 jack that you just tore up. And then he welded 2 bars so it would hook into his 3-point hitch. And just like expected, it easily picked up lawnmowers. He backed this thing, he welded this onto his 3-point hitch. He backed the lawnmower up. Then he had to push the lawnmower onto this. That I don't have to do. All I have to do is get off my lawnmower, hook it, and raise it up. That's it. I don't have to tie the straps, but he had to push the lawnmower onto this. I mean, you really wouldn't have to. I don't know about his design, but mine, these pins come out, so you could just slide it through the wheels and then put that bar back in. So that worked well. Then he had to strap it so it wouldn't roll off when he pulled it. And he had the same problem that I initially had, which was it was doing wheelies, and he said, I'm going to put front end weight on it. Now this is from a tractor lawnmower that is designed with a 3-point hitch, and he was still having to put weight on the front end because it was lifting up. I didn't have to put weight on it. I figured out how not to have to put weight on it simply by hooking a tow strap up, and it didn't rear up. Again, I just made a video on that like 2 or 3 days ago. And so he can pull any lawnmower, because these are adjustable. I don't know about his, but mine are adjustable. You can see that I can adjust these in and out, put 0 turns on it, or really small lawnmowers. And it's not a terrible idea. The downside to using this is you can't lift the back end, which was critical to me. I needed to be able to lift the back end. A while back, for example, this is just an example, I'm going to give you a couple examples. A while back, the hardware store called me up and says, hey, I got a lawnmower over here, somebody dropped off, and would you come over and pick it up and fix it? Sure. Well, I took the truck, and they got the fork truck and put it in. I wouldn't have to do that now. I mean, I got the winch in the truck, but I could take the lawnmower over, and I probably would now because it's not that far away. And I could just lift up the back end. Like I said, the back wheels wouldn't turn. Ended up the belt was put on wrong, and the brake was actually engaged is what it was. And you couldn't get it to disengage. So I could have just lifted the back end, towed it all the way home. If that ever happens again, that is what I'm going to do. You can't do that with this because the back wheels are too wide for it. I have used this for the back wheels. You couldn't use it on a zero turn at all. The zero turn tires are just way too big. But it would not be secure. And if we're talking about you're going to get somebody hurt, again, I don't know who this guy would hurt, but if you're going to hurt somebody, that would be the way to do it, is to pick up the back end on it. So he can't tow from the back. He has to tow from the front, which is fine. But I don't know how it's better. Mine is universal. I can do the front, the back. I can do zero turns, front and back. And the other thing that's nice with mine is his only had a certain amount of height it could lift. Because the 3-point hitch only goes up so high. So if he wanted to use it like I do, where I can lift the back end up and actually work underneath the lawnmower, changing belts or whatever, changing out the transmission, I can just pull the beast into this bay here, back it in, lift up the back end. If I wanted to, I could lift up the front end and the whole thing would be off the ground. So again, I feel like mine is just, I don't want to say a better design, but it just more suitable for me. I'm not sure what it is that I've done that is not correct and is going to get people hurt. I said in that video where I towed that thing around, this John Deere over here, that it should be able to lift 2,400 pounds, the 2x4s, which would exceed the winch capability. The winch can only lift 2,000 pounds, which would exceed the lawnmower's capability, which can only pull 1,500 pounds. So I don't need a ton of strength. Again, I'm not driving down the highway at 55 miles an hour. I'm not lifting really heavy things. So I'm not sure where the safety issue is, but they were very upset. I don't know if trolls just do this to be trolls or if they are genuinely concerned about the safety of this. I've used it several times. I've used it on a customer's lawnmower already. Picked it up and brought it over here. So the other thing I like about my design is it's not going to be very hard. I just get a couple 2x4s and I can make a crane out of it. I can put things on top of the roof or on top of the camper. I can lift things up at a substantial height. I don't know if I'll ever need to. I doubt if I would ever need to. But if I needed to, I would have the capability, and it would only be 2x4 and then a cross beam, and then just kind of wedge it in underneath the lawnmower. I wouldn't even have to screw it down. It would be so simple. And then I would put a brace underneath it because it would probably rear up the front end on that, but I just put a little brace under it and I would have a crane. I mean, how great is that? A crane. So I don't know. I don't understand, why my design isn't working. People come over and they look at it and think, hey, that's really cool. Like I told you in that other video. Had a guy come over, sat on the lawnmower, and I said, oh, my tow truck. And he said, yeah, this is a really great idea. I can't think of anybody that would actually need to make a tow truck for lawnmowers other than lawnmower mechanics, but it does exist. You could do it. I know I got a cedar tree log over here that I don't want there anymore. And I've thought about dragging it out with the beast, but I couldn't lift it up to get the beast to pull it. Now I'll be able to. So I can actually use it around here to, you know, drag things around. I don't know. It just seemed like a logical thing, and I don't see the safety issue with it. I really don't. I mean, you would think that if I lift something too heavy, that either the winch is going to say no or the lawnmower is going to say no long before those 2x4s break. That's the only thing I can think that they're saying is unsafe, because the winch is a purchased item. The lawnmower is a purchased item. If they're sending me a video of a lawnmower doing the same thing that I'm doing, which is towing around lawnmowers, then I would assume they think the lawnmower is capable of doing it. Although one person said it wasn't. You shouldn't be towing around lawnmowers with that lawnmower. It's going to wear out, which is why it's a $100 lawnmower. I mean, you know, we bought it used. I wouldn't do it on the John Deere. Tear it up. But I can buy another one of these, the Beast, for another $100, and I'd have parts. So if you click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was on my other channel. I was working on something. It's going to be pretty cool. I really appreciate it. Go check it out. So hope I can inspire you to figure it out. Sing live your dreams. Thanks for watching.